more hour. Okay. It's okay. I won't be able to cover thinking, but I know you can think anyway, so it's okay.
What about reading?
Huh? Reading, yes, I'll cover. I think that's the first sentence in my description of this session was reading. So we're going to spend at least half an hour on reading. Okay. There's 6 balls left here. I'm not going back with it, so whoever wants to take it, be my guest later. Okay. So you want me to start? Okay. You notice that we are facing what you call information overload. Are you agreeing in that in your subject matter that there's so much information now, it's difficult to keep track? Okay. And this is medical knowledge. Okay. They say it's doubling every 3 years. And it's projected to double every 73 days by 2020. Now, of course, you cannot read or consume everything, but, and here's another example of every minute per day in social media, these are the kind of things that are happening. For example, Facebook, 2.4 million pieces of content are shared every minute on Facebook. Okay. WhatsApp, okay, you the guys, every minute, 347,000 photos are shared on WhatsApp. There are about 500 million users, I think, now. So, it's nearly impossible to keep track of all this. I'm not asking you to, but what it does mean is that we need to read fast. I was planning to have a panel quiz, but I don't think we have time for that. Okay, now, how do you read a Harry Potter book? Anybody? Has anybody read Harry Potter? Or any science fiction book? Huh? How do you read it? If I give you the book, watch the movie. Okay, that's another alternative. If I give you the book here, how would you read it? I'm not going to give because it's not a funny. Okay, you read it from page 1. Do you start on the last page?
No.
Why not? You get the ending straight away. You don't want. Okay, spoil, right? Okay, what about manga or any magazine? How do you read magazines? Do you read it differently from Harry Potter books? So how would you read a magazine? Whatever interests you, scan or something. What about comics? Anybody read comics here? Okay, what about the Star newspaper or any newspaper? Huh? From the back. Okay, men usually start from the back page, right? Women also back? No. They start with lifestyle, straight to lifestyle. No. Okay. Okay, what about an academic book? How do you read an academic book? There's no right and wrong here. I'm just asking you how. Okay, I give you this academic book. Okay, you have to read chapter 1. How would you read it now? I give it to you, I give you 10 minutes. I give you a quiz in 10 minutes. How would you read it? Huh?
Scan.
Okay, you scan. Okay, good. You scan. How would you scan?
I learned about speed reading.
Okay, good.
But,
you have.
But quite a long time I didn't really practice it.
Didn't practice?
No.
It's okay.
I think still I can do it.
Okay, so okay, I take 1 minute. You read the book, can? No. Actually, I put 20 minutes. Right, I said 20 minutes. Okay, so how would you read? Anyone else? How would you read a book? An academic book or a book that is non-science fiction? Okay, go to index first. Huh? Content. You start page 1 and go to page. Contents first, and then okay. There's no right answer here. Okay. What about? Okay, this one I have to ask you, Prof. Rozan. He is a publisher, editor. Now, when somebody submits you a paper, how do you read that paper? Huh? Keywords first, and then?
Just basically keywords.
Synopsis. No, just the first keywords, and then next keywords, and then conclusion. And when do you decide to actually bother reading the whole paper?
When I find interesting.
And interested. Okay. So whoever's submitting a paper to Rosan, you got some idea, okay? Because he's an expert, right? So, okay, how do you read PowerPoint? Huh? Just the points, not the power. Okay. 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 So the thing is, I find fascinating with speed reading is that it provides you more time to do other stuff. And I think you have a lot of things, whether it's reports and so on, you have to read, right? So we're going to look at how we can actually learn how to speed read, okay? But how many of you have a device on you? None of you brought your iPads or anything. Actually, in the instruction was to bring a device, but nobody brought that. Huh? No, then you can do the speed reading test now. We can find out how fast you actually read. But you don't have time actually. Okay, but we can go to the slides. You can actually take time and do the test by yourself and find out your speed reading level. Okay, I think we're running out of time because we only have 1 hour left, so I don't want to spend. I was planning to actually, if I do a one-day workshop, I'll make the participants do the speed reading test and see how fast they read, and then we'll look in how we can improve your speed. But it's not only about speed; it's also about comprehension. So this is some real statistics, by the way. So if this is in US, so in Malaysia, it might be relevant to Bahasa Malaysia, but not to English, because it's second language. You don't expect them to read second language fast, okay? But an average is between 180 to 250 words per minute. Now, how much is that actually? That's usually roughly about a page, or a bit less than a page. So do you read 1 page a minute? How long does it take you to read 1 page on a normal book like this one, for example? Huh? How long? This page?
That's more than 250.
Huh?
That's more than 250.
Okay, it's 278. Okay, but how long does it take you to read a 250 word page? 30 seconds, okay? Okay, but if you have a chance, do the test and find out actually how fast you read. Okay, so people say speed readers are usually between, some say it's above 1500, but I say between 800 to 1500 words per minute. And it's not difficult to learn, by the way. It's not difficult to learn, okay? But with comprehension, it's quite tough. With recall, it's even tougher. I mean, that you can just read 1,000 words, and boom, you can do a quiz and answer all the questions there. That's quite challenging. But there are people that can do that, okay? And I'm going to show you things that you will not believe. In the next half an hour, you're going to see things. If you haven't seen it before, you're going to be shocked, okay? Okay, but first we're going to talk about bad reading habits, okay? The first one that we do is, when you read, can you hear your voice? Internal speech. Lips, are you moving your lips? You move your lips. Okay, that's one of the reasons why if you do that, it's nearly impossible to go beyond 300 words per minute. Because that means you have to speak at that pace, and not many people in this world can go, even the fastest people can maybe speak 400 words per minute. That's it. So one of the things that you need to do is, not cut out, they say cut out, but actually distract your internal speech. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Regression. This is regression. I read, I go back. I read, I go back. I read, I go back. I read, go back. I read, I go back. Are you that one? Some are like that. So never finish a page. What I read, I read again. What I read, I read again. What, so that's regression. That's another issue that people face that slow them down. Fixation. This is the most critical thing to do if you want to speed read. Do you read word by word? Or do you read chunks? Word by word. Okay, if you do that, it's nothing wrong with it. But one of the tricks to learn how to speed read is, instead of reading 1 word at a time, you read 2 words at a time. Or you read 3 words at a time. Or you read 1 sentence at a time. And you can do that. When you're driving a car, you see, for example, things you're familiar with, you can see. Right? For example, if you see things like, codes that you're familiar with, what's that, KFC? If you see, say, finger licking good, you don't have to read finger licking. The moment you see it, it comes to your mind. And actually, the thing is, one of the skills I'll show you later is that you can learn how to speed it just by, instead of reading 1 word at a time, you read 2 words at a time. And then you practice that, and then you go 3 words at a time. And then 4 words. And there are people in this world that can read 1 page at a time. You're laughing, okay? But I'll show you, okay? Inefficient eye motion. Your eyes are moving slowly, and okay? Poor concentration, that's also important, right? You read the whole page and ask yourself, I don't know, okay? So when you talk about speed reading, yes, we want you to increase the speed, but also there's no point reading fast if you don't understand what you're reading, right? So yes, you want to have comprehension, okay? And also you want to have retention. I mean that you can be able to recall. There's no point reading something and then say, let's talk about it. I read it, but I can't talk about it, you know? It should be that you can actually recall it, okay? So this is what speed readers do, okay? Focus, okay, we talked about that. They distract there, actually they say to cut out your internal speech. Because if you cut out internal speech, you go straight to the mind and you can do much faster. But if you have internal speech, you can only read as fast as you can talk. So you have to find ways to reduce, distract. So one of the things they do when speed reading is, when they're reading, instead of saying, just say 1, 2, 1, 2. So when they say 1, 2, they're distracting the internal speech from blocking them to read fast. So there are different techniques. This is just one. Okay? Use a guide. When you read, do you just look at the page or use a pen or a finger? Isn't that only kids are supposed to do that, right? But actually that's one of the things to read fast, is that you use a guide. And you try that now. You try to read with your pen, and then you take away the pen and you see how more difficult it is to read. Because when you have the pen, your eyes just needs to follow that dot on the pen. But if you don't have the pen or the finger, your eyes will lose that sentence. Correct or not? But when you have the pen, you won't lose it. It will just go down. So try to read. Yeah. So actually a guide is one of the tools that most speeders do, is they use this. Some people use the hand like that, or they use the finger, or some people just use the pen. And some people just use a paper. They cut out a piece of paper and they put a dot in the paper and they follow it. Because when you use the papers, they hide the next sentence into it. So a guide is very important. It sounds very childish, just a kid, you're supposed to go like that. But actually that's one of the techniques to speed read, is to use the finger. Because when you use the finger or the pen or any guide, your eyes will not lose contact with the lines. And a lot of people waste a lot of time. You're reading the line, and then you blink your eye. Sometimes you fall asleep, line 4, line 3, line 2, and you're wasting time. That slows you down. So use a guide, that's what's recommended. Reduce fixation points. You see fixation points? A good reader, he reads multiple words at a time. So instead of reading word, 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 he will read like that, or maybe the whole sentence or the whole paragraph. Okay? And then of course the peripheral vision, you can see like that. And that's one of the things I forgot to mention. When you juggle, you get peripheral vision. Because if you cannot look like this, the balls will fall everywhere. You must be able to concentrate a bit like that. So peripheral vision is important if you want to read. Okay? And minimize regression. You remember regression? That you go back. This is very important. A lot of people, they like to go back. They read, they go back. Read, they go back. And that actually makes your mind lazy. Because you allow yourself to say, if I don't get it, I can always read it again. But the moment you say, I cannot read it again, you keep on going, your mind will be much more focused. Because I have to get it. And that's why just forget about it. And I've learned this one thing. If you don't get it in the first sentence, if it's important, the book is definitely going to mention it again. So even if you don't get that sentence, it's not so bad. And sometimes the author himself has written a sentence that doesn't make sense. So if you don't make sense of that sentence, doesn't mean that you are not getting it. Maybe the author wrote a bad sentence. But what will happen is if you keep on reading, you might get it because they explain it as it goes along. You understand or not? So that's why don't do regression. Try not to do. Practice not to go back. I'm not saying you don't go back at all, but while you're reading, just practice to keep on going. Because it will come to you. I notice a lot of times you read, I didn't get it, I go back. And you don't get it. But actually, if you kept on reading, you would have got it anyway. So that's one of the things that slows you down a lot. Okay? So now, the problem is when you learn online, read online, the research shows that you read, I think, 10% at a slower pace online. But now, because of innovation technology, they have found a way that you can read much faster online than you can do, unless you're a speed reader, if you're not a speed reader. And this is why. When people read, they spend 80% of the time moving the eyes from the word to word, but only 20% processing. You notice that? Actually, when you're reading, most of the time you're not reading, your eyes are moving. But only when you capture words, you're reading. So what they're doing now is, the technology, I'll show you the technology. Okay? This is, let me just show you this one first. I don't know if you've seen it before. Okay? So it makes the text, instead of you moving, the text is moving. Okay, let me just show you. And I'll show you a software later that you can install on your browser if you're using Chrome. So any website you go to, you can use it. Okay? This is Spritz, by the way. So let me just show you. Say that I want to learn how to read 600, or let's do very fast. This one only allows you to 700 words per minute. Okay. So this is how it reads. Okay? But let's go back to 250. That's a normal pace. Can you read that? No problem, right? But if you were to read a book, it seems very fast, right? That's one page, by the way, we're talking about. So that's the new ways of reading, is that the text comes to you instead of you moving your eyes through text. So all the time, you're spending processing information. And this Spritz is going to be commercialized, so you can't use. But I found a free software, because I've been in OER for a long time, so I know how to find free stuff, okay? So, so this, I just want to show you this, okay? Next slide. You can use this one to practice, but this one you can install on your browser, only on Chrome. It's called Spreed. I'm going to show you how it works. It's really cool. You can paste it and so on. So like if you want to read articles sometime fast, you can use it. Let me just show you how it works. Okay. So let's go to my blog. I want to speed read my blog. So you install the, what do you call it? You install here. This is Spreed here. You install it on your Chrome. You can see it here. Okay. So now I want to, I have no idea what Zed is talking about. So I click here. So I want to read this here. This is blah, blah, blah. This is not so much. So I'm saying blah, blah, blah. So let's go here. And you can go here and you click Spreed current website. Okay, so I click this one. And voila, it comes here. And I can choose the size, font size. I can choose how many words per minute. No, word per time. And I can choose the speed. This is 250 words. So this one allows you to go up to, let's see how fast to read Z short. This is 1600 words per minute. Okay, you want to try? So let's go. Okay, that one cannot run, okay? But my point is that let's do, I promise say 3 times. So 3 times is 750, okay? This is 3 times the pace that you would read normally. And tell me whether you understand or not. Can you read or not? Okay, a bit too fast. Some of you can read, right? Okay, let's go down to 500. It's still double what you can now. It's okay? Can you read? You can change the number of words, by the way. You can do 2 words. Okay, let's try 2 words. Can you read? How many of you cannot read? Too fast. You can always slow down. Okay, slow down. This is your normal pace when you read normally. Can you follow? It's quite slow, right? Yes. Okay. Okay, here you can do up to 6 words per minute. Okay, here. I'll show you another tool, by the way, I have on my iPad. I'll show you. There are many ways. This is just one innovation in speed reading on the screen. Is that better? So and you can choose the pace, you can rewind. It's very easy to rewind. Most of the tools you can, so you can just go back here, you know. And it's not tiring. The thing when you read like this, it is not tiring. That when you read on, I think about if you have all of your, try with your articles, Professor, see what, to go through, okay. This is just one tool, I'm showing you the one tool. And this is one of the latest innovations in reading using technology to speed up. Okay, it doesn't work very well for diagrams and so on, but it works very well for text, okay. You try it out. This is free anyway. Spreed is free, but I think it only works for Chrome, okay. But it's a really fantastic way to get it, okay. But it's not going to teach you how to speed read faster, but I'm going to show you some tools now, okay. Let me show you on my iPad. How many of you have an iPad? Okay, so I'm going to show you my iPad. I have a few tools, but they're not free, by the way. Is that a problem? Do you buy stuff on your iPad or? It's only a few dollars. Okay. Because you mentioned the full sentence. I have a tool that you can practice with. Okay. You can test your pace. It keeps data of your. Hopefully get it done. Okay. So there's a lot of, I think you can find on Android also, but I don't use Android. I'm sure you can find many of these tools on Android. So don't be limited to iPad. I'm not an iPad supporter like that anymore after Steve Jobs passed away. I don't think iPad or Apple is going to be that successful as they were. So it's good to, okay. Okay, I go to here. You can see I have all my speed reading tools, but the two I recommend is, it's in the slides also, is Quick Reader and accelerated. Accelerated is to keep you updated what you're doing in your pace and so on. It keeps track of your scores, and you can do comprehension tests. You can see there I have my scores here, and I can do tests. I got courses, you can see here. I got training centers, speed test. You want to see how a speed test works? I just show you. I go to a speed test. I choose an article. You can see I try for one. Say I chose snowboarding, and Sunny starts counting down. Let's start the test. And then you start reading. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then you click done. Okay? And then they ask you questions, because you can always cheat, right? But I'm just going to skip the quiz. You have to do the quiz, and then you get your results. Nice job. And they tell you how many words per minute, because now I don't read this faster. This is 7,900 words per minute. But I didn't read now, just showing you that it can calculate your pace. And it's a very nice tool, and it's very graphical and fun, and it costs only a few dollars. I don't know, $5, $6, $4. I bought it. I found it very useful, because you got training, you got guided course. You can go through a course. You don't need a human being to teach you like me. You have a lot of activity, and it's fun. And you can keep track. It keeps track on your improvement. You see that? It's really cool. Okay, that's one. Now, say that you want to read things that's not there. Here, actually, it's very much here. So you have Quick Reader. Quick Reader allows you to go to, by the side of speed test, it allows you to practice speed reading, but it also allows you to go to different databases. You know Gutenberg? Anybody knows Gutenberg? So you can go to these different places and download the books, and you can read them here. And I just want to show you how cool it is. Okay, I've downloaded some books here. You can download. You go to download, and you can see all the books here from Bayern Books and Project Gutenberg, Internet Archive, and then you download the books. And let's do the Art of War, okay? And here, before I start reading, I can set the pace, how many words per minute. That's a bit fast. So I go here, say 1,400 words per minute. I can use the guide. You like one line, right? I can do one line, or I can do one word. So lines, I can do lines, or I can do words, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what's important now, let's start. So what it does now is, when I read, the lighter will follow according to the pace I set. I set 1,500 words. Let me just show you. Okay, you see that? So when I start, it even tells me now. You see that? It says, I will finish this chapter in 8 minutes if I use the pace of, I think, 1,500 words. Now I start. See that? So your eyes just need to follow that yellow line, and you can read through. Huh? Quite cool, right? Huh? And you can set the pace. If it's too fast, it's too fast, you can go here, and you can set the pace. That was a bit fast, so I go down, say, I think 740, okay. I can do one line, two line, it's up to you how much you want to highlight. Let's start again. So now it goes. Nice? Is it more comfortable to read like this? Your eyes just follow that yellow line and you pick up. And now, by the way, you're reading 800 words per minute. Does it seem too fast? Okay, now it is fast, but just remember, before you know about this, you're reading 240 words. Let's just read 200. Let's just change it to 240 words per minute. Okay? Let's see how slow that is actually. I do 255. Okay? Improvement. Okay. Can you keep up with that pace? Yeah, see? So now we increase. You can practice yourself. So this tool can allow you to practice and you keep up. And it's so relaxing to read. Because one of the biggest problems reading is that you lose the line. But either way you use finger, you can use finger. If you don't have the technology, just use your finger or pen, or you use this one. But I like this tool very much. It's very good to train. It's very fast. See? And the reason why your readings, it seems slow, is because you're processing every single moment in time you're processing. Previously, your eye movement was, you're spending most of the time on eye movement. That's why you read so slow previously, is because most of the time you're not reading. You're moving your eyes to the next line, you're missing the lines. So that's, now with like this, you don't need to focus on that. You just need to focus on consuming the information, okay? So that is, there's much more to share, but I have to move on. Any questions until now? Any questions? How many of you have used these kind of tools before? None. So it's good to try out. Seriously, these are very good tools to help you improve your speed reading with comprehension. Because if you're just doing speed reading, I got problems. Okay, so let's see if I can get back to normal. Okay. Okay, 11:30, okay, hold on. So you notice that actually you can read much faster than you thought. True or not?
Doesn't it take the joy out of reading?
Okay, that's a good question. I'm not asking you to do speed reading Harry Potter. That one you take your own sweet time. I'm asking you to use these kind of tools for the things that you don't want to read, but you have to read. The things that you maybe wanted to read half-heartedly, but you never had time. I'll give you an example. I went to a bookstore, and I'll share later, photo reading, and I went through 10 books in 2 hours. And of course, I cannot memorize the books and all that. But I realized, I'll show you later, is that suddenly when I had an idea, I remember I saw that in this book, that book, this book. That's good. Then I go back to the book, I have it. Understand or not? Because I'm using this. If I didn't do speed reading, I would never have gone through those 10 books. Because those are books I was like, do you have books that maybe I want to read, maybe I don't want to read. Those are the books definitely you should just read, scan through them. And I'm going to show you some crazy stuff, okay? But in terms of comprehension, first, is the SQR3 study method. You're familiar with this, right? It's okay. I think this one in academics they use a lot, right? So first you scan, and this is why if I have a chance to tell students, I tell them that yes, you're right, you scan through the chapter, right? You scan through, boom. But before you go to the next level, read the questions. Because the moment you read the questions, you know what they expect you to know from that chapter. And sometimes when you know the questions, when you read, those questions come back to you as you read, okay? And then you have read, okay? You have different ways of reading, skimming, scanning, detail. So what's the difference between skimming and scanning? Anyone can tell me the difference between skim and scan? Huh?
Scan is more specific.
Okay, true. When you're scanning, you're looking for something. Okay, when you're skimming, you're just skimming through. Yes?
Because it's like taking
The cream.
of the context.
Okay. Basically, skimming is just you skim through, just to get a bird's eye view of what's going on. But scanning usually is that you're looking for something. For example, say that I want to find out when Obama became president, right? So this article will tell me. So then my mind is focused on finding that date. That's one example of scanning, okay? And then, of course, you do that, then you need to recite and review. But I'm going to share with you, I have the book here, by the way. I'm not saying you should buy it, but if I was a student, this is by Campaio. He is the 6-time world champion in World Speed Memory Champion. And he has written here how he teaches his students to get 4 blank on anything, okay? Anything. And what he does is, I'm not saying it works for everyone, 2 aspects. One is that you read fine, but he would emphasize that students create a summary. The summary is usually a bit longer than the summary in the book, in each chapter. And then he'll create something called a concept map, like a mind map. So those things combined with the reading, it will be so powerful that it's nearly difficult to forget. But what is interesting is, how many of you use mind maps here? Anyone? Do mind maps? When you were a student, did you do mind maps? Okay. Now, how many of you colored your mind maps? Colored. Okay, now this is the question. When you colored it, did you have a strategy, or you just was artist, Da Vinci, or you actually had a strategy coloring it? Strategy. What was your strategy? No strategy, just color like nice stuff, flower, blue flower, red head, or something, all right? But actually what he tells us is, what he does, he color codes his concept maps, he color codes them. So what you do is, every knowledge is like, have different levels, right? You have the first level, must know. Second level, need to know. So what he did is he color coded, for example, he said, the most important level is blue, for example, it's your choice. The next level is red, so he will color in that way. And by that, his strategy was, before I can go to level 2, I must remember all in level 1. Then I must remember, then go. So it goes by stages, so it's systematic and organized. So you will know. So he used concept maps, used summaries, and of course speed reading and so on. So by combining that with the students, most of the students will get straight A's. But it's a lot of work, but actually it's less work for the exam. Because you know when students sit for exam, those who have not, they have like 5 books piled up and they already got headache and end up getting C or D or whatever. But those students who have worked throughout the semester, they have their summaries and memory maps and so on, they will do better. I know this kind of assessment is not recommended in higher education, but we still do it. So students need to learn. But in general, he said to get it to stick in memory, it's good to have a short summary and also a mind map to supplement your reading. Okay? So now, have you heard about photo reading? I was sharing with you speed reading, right? So this is speed reading, okay? This is photo reading. 25,000 words per minute. Read a book in 3 minutes. Or thesis. You can do your thesis in 6 minutes, 150,000 words. Can or not? 6 minutes, you go through a thesis. And there's something even more powerful than photo reading. It's called mental photography. You can, whether you believe or not, I'm not asking you to believe this here, but some of these people are doing it for decades. And I'm going to show you a video on how a guy who does mental photography, or they call it zoxing. Even Superman is impressed, okay? According to this, they found out a 16-year-old that could read 606,000 words per minute. And they say, based on their research, that human being is capable of 2 million words per minute. Do you believe him? Yes. I don't know if I want to believe him, but I know Allah has done amazing things with our brains, so maybe it's just unlocking our secrets, okay? So let's watch this video.
We have provided this video clip to show you what it looks like when you mentally photograph or zox a book. Please observe the page turning technique.
That's focus. You have to use the Einstein drill. Okay. Okay, you laugh. But these people have been doing it since 1976. So I don't think they just done it out of the blue, right? And even Malaysia, he has come to Malaysia and done for training in Malaysia. I have tried it actually for a few months. Okay, I don't get this memory thing. I don't remember much what I read. But it's unbelievable how much I get from a book in 5 minutes by using these techniques. And I only realize when I look into issues, it just comes back to my head because it goes subconsciously. So we don't have time to go through this, but explore it. I have the slides, I made the links available, they can go here. This is something even more powerful. This is from Japan. How many of you send your kids to Shashida? They have a school in Malaysia, Shashida school. Okay, I sent my kids, I took him out because I didn't want my kids to burn out. You know, because they're too extreme on this, become super, you know, I sent my kid for Shashida just for fun. And then they asked them to sit, I thought they were going to move. They sit in a chair and they ask you to read very fast, calculate very fast. You know, my kid is more like relaxed, chill. So I took him out loud. But actually they give you a cassette, so they tell like this. You have to listen to the cassette. It says 4 times 4 is 8. Oh, sorry, 4 times 4 is 16. And then they'll say 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 4 is 16. So to process faster. But I'm going to show you this video. This is fun. I think we can only cover reading today. But I just want to show you this video. You will laugh. Not only do they read the book, they smell the book, they touch the book, they feel energized. I've cut out the video bit. You can find the video there.
What color is it? Red.はい、内容、映画が出てます。はい、じゃあ読んでみて。
あるネズミがいて、そのお母さんの名前がスミという名前で、そのネズミのお母さんが赤ちゃんを産んだら、スエネズミという名前をつけて。
はい、なんだって5行ぐらい
5行ぐらいが英語で、5行また5行ぐらいの漢字で、また5行ぐらいは英語で、また漢字。
はい。そして映画はどこ？そこ出てる？はい、ありがとう。どういう音が聞こえてくるかし
音は鉄砲をその人が鉄砲を上に向けて、ドーンと撃った音。
音が聞こえるの。はい、じゃあその手をこう挟んで。ゆうのちゃん、この本がみんなに何を言いたいのかしら。
動物が弱ってたりして、その手当てをしてあげたり、蹴ったりしないで、手当てをしてほしいと。
分かったし。で、ゆうのちゃん、これ本読んでどう思うの？
この一緒に旅に出たおじさんは偉い
人だなと思った？そうだね。
My name is Keigo. I like to think about space, and I like to do imagination. So, and I think you want to hear about the black hole. The black hole, there are many kinds of black holes. Even you don't see, I can see far off space with my image.
いい流れ、いい波動。一つにやってる。あ、そっちやって。ゆまちゃん今。ゆまちゃんは流れるようにね。はい。やったよ。順番をまた来て。優しく流れるように。
今は、一通りまず覚える音と、あとまあなんていうのもいいんだけど、それに関してなんか記述みたいな問題とかも解いた方がいい。
はい、わかりました。
なんか、各地方の、なんか変わった朝ごはんとかがなんか、あと朝ごはん食べてるところとか、とにかくなんか食べ物がいっぱい出てきてる。
はい、そこで匂いが感じられます？食べ物の匂いが感じられますか？
感じる。
感じられます。で、私たち人間にこういう朝の食事が必要ですっていうの分かります？分かった？この感覚を覚えておいてください。分かった？じゃあ言って。
昔、宇宙人のお父さんとお母さんが間違えて地球に吹っ飛んじゃって、そして、30日後みんな慣れてきて、そして宇宙人 I could see the images and the colors. Now I see the colors, and the color is yellow and green. Now I'll focus on the colors so I can see the images. I can see now the image. I can see that Harry Potter is in his home. I mean his
So what do you make of this video? Interesting. Have you seen anything like this before?
It seems that they're more trying to hold the sixth sense rather than...
Yeah, sixth sense. But actually, the interesting part one is that they're doing one thing that's important. I teach you repeating to remember. You notice that they're reading many times. So that's good. Whether their pace, but these are actually super geniuses in Japan. and they are using the Shishida method. You can actually, they have Shishida schools in KL. I don't know about Penang. But I'm not a big fan. I took my kid to, and I wanted my kid to move, and they sat him in a chair. But all the time, so I didn't like the idea. But what I'm saying is that the photo reading, mental photography, it exists. And you might be wondering why some people have absorbed enormous amount of knowledge within short periods of time. How many of you seen Rain Man? Rain Man? What, you remember Rain Man? Do you know what the name of the real guy is? Kim Peek, and he's for real, Kim Peek. He memorized, we won't have time to talk about memory because we have to switch over soon, but guess how many books he memorized word for word? You can ask him any book, he can just pick up the book, and you say, page 17, what did he say there? And he can just say it through his mind. Guess how many books? 50, according to, I think it was 15,000 books. And he was, we call it, he was autistic. Most of these geniuses are autistic, but you know corpus callosum? He didn't have a corpus callosum, he had two separate brains. So he had this ability when you have a book, 2 pages, one eye reads that page, the other eye reads that page. So he can read 2 pages at the same time. Okay. I'm not saying I'm asking you to come to this level, but I'm just saying that the mind, the capacity of our brain is so much more than what we've been doing, unless we've been doing this. And I've tried some of these things. I can tell you, for me, I'm not going to memorize these books, but I do enjoy. I go to bookstores now, even a book I don't want to read, just okay. I go back and forth 3, 4 times, 6, 7 times. But I found out, for me, I don't like to do this fast. I like to do 1 page per second. They're doing 1 page per millisecond. That's too much. 1 second is okay. 2 seconds, okay. It's nice. Because you learn, because your eyes can do much more than you think, okay? Huh? Yeah. No, actually, the thing is, when you learn speed reading, it's much more relaxing to speed read than read normally. I'm not joking. It sounds very weird, but it is, because you're not moving your eyes. You're just scanning the whole page at one time, you know? But anyway, it's a long story. But to do it is a headache. Yeah? So these are the tools I recommended. You saw those on the iPad. I think they might be on other devices also. Try to check. But this one is really nice if you want to course, you want to test your speed and practice. This one is right if you want to download stuff to read and just use the tool to memorize, okay? So these are some courses. Free videos. I didn't have the time to teach you so much. You can watch these free videos, crash course on speed reading, and how to read textbooks and technical material. But they will not teach you how to read, no. They'll teach you how to read between 500 to 2,000 words per minute, which is enough. It's more than enough. You don't have to read Harry Potter in half a minute, you know. But I want to share with the official world record in reading Harry Potter, been tested, the world record official. You can go to Wikipedia, Guinness World Record, is to read Harry Potter, the whole book, in 42 minutes. And that's around 4,200 plus words per minute. I'm not exactly, something 4,000 something. And she was asked 100 questions afterwards, and she actually, so in about 1 hour. So I think if you learn how to speed read, you should be able to read a 200-page book, maybe 1 hour, no problem. But you won't get as deep knowledge unless you learn the skills properly. And there's more videos here. This is this Iris has made this whole collection of videos. You can see how many minutes each one is long. So if you're serious, go through this. But they will not teach you photo reading, but they'll teach you speed reading. It's good enough. Okay? And I'm collecting my own resources here. If you go to this link, you can find a resource I'm sharing. Okay? Okay. So we're going to stop soon, but I want to share you with something to end this show. I want to share with you, is this you or not? Hold this. Okay. What is that? Where did it come from? This is somebody without memory now. Okay. Okay. So one question before, and then a video, and then we'll Q&A. What's the fastest way to remember all your students' names? One who's seen my slide is not allowed to answer. Now say that I have 1,000 students, and I want to have absolutely 100% all the names of students always correct. Without thinking, you should be able to do that. How do you do that? Huh? Association, huh? 100%. You can never do a mistake. Impossible unless you cannot read. If you cannot read, then you'll do a mistake now. Okay, my answer to this is coming. It's called Google Glass. Or Google Lens. Or any of those smart glasses. No, I'm not joking. When these smart glasses come, you go to teach. he has face recognition, so the moment you look at a student, boom. So that will be coming. So then you don't have to think anymore. But it's not improving memory. That's the answer to that question. It's coming. The technology is already here. It's just a matter of time that you will have it. But isn't it nice? You go to class. What's the sad thing about this? As the technology evolves, you might find out all the bad things students say about you. First you get the name, and then all the bad things streaming down. Okay, I'm going to share, I want to, and this is important, study without desire spoils the memory and retains nothing that it takes in learning. So you have to have that passion, desire. I mean, that's the essence. And I'm going to end this session before Q&A. Is this, okay, this on my empty stomach, okay. How many of you have heard about Stephen Wiltshire? You heard about him? Fantastic guy, no? Okay, he's also autistic, again. So, okay, I want to share, this is true. Some people in this world have actually damaged their head, the left side of the head, and become geniuses after they've had an accident. Have you heard about these stories? Okay. Now the question is, why have they become geniuses when they damaged their left side hemisphere? What does, in general, I know the brain is very interconnected, but the left side is usually associated with what? Logic, analytical, huh? And the right side is creative. So basically they have switched down, switched off the left side because they cannot use it, it's damaged, and the brain has been totally activated on the right side. Okay. Now, this is actually, people are developing technology. How many of you watched Men in Black? Remember that device? What did he do? This device, what happened? Huh?
Erase the memory.
So now after this workshop, you can't remember anything. Huh? It's the opposite. What they actually they're thinking about, they're thinking about it is that, they haven't developed it, they're thinking about it, I read about it, is that what they'll do is, you have this device, it will numb your left side. So like for example, when you want to, because left side is very good for critical thinking, analytical thinking, but it's not very good, it blocks you from memorizing stuff. Because you say, I don't want to learn this. So what they do is they numb it, they switch it off, so when you time to just consume, your right is totally switched on, and you absorb basically 99, 100% of it. But there might be side effects like it doesn't go on and on. Okay, let's watch this video, and then we have a Q&A. Okay.
Hi, I'm Stephen Wiltshire. I'm an artist. I'm in New York City. New York is my favorite city.
Stephen is an autistic, artistic savant. Drawing for Stephen is like air and water for us. He cannot live without it. I'm Stephen's sister. I'm extremely proud of him.
I'm gonna do a drawing of New York City from the memory. I feel excited. It's a beautiful city. Lots of skyscrapers. My favorite is the Empire State Building. It's a brilliant building. It was so beautiful out there, nice and sunny.
Every aspect of what he sees comes alive on paper.
So this morning I figured it out. We'll start with the Brooklyn, up to the Midtown Manhattan, all the way to Queens. I'm gonna start now.
I would love to be in his mind to actually see how he sees things. Stephen was mute until the age of 5, so drawing was a form of his speech. This was his language. He has a phenomenal memory and is able to memorize cityscapes, landscapes, how many windows, floors, chimneys. To watch the ink touch the paper, it's almost like fine embroidery. You can actually see it develop. I never get tired of it.
This is it, it's done now. I feel happy and good. I'm very proud of my work.
It's purely Stephen's own determination that he is where he is today.
Do the best you can and never stop.
So, okay, this is the last thing on show, but do you notice how good memory he has? And this is what I find fascinating. Yes, he's autistic, it's fine, but there is a gift from, but what if, I'm trying to unlock ways to, not to get to that level, but there are ways to come not so far. And you notice when they have done tests, when they looked at his pictures, they looked at the real thing. Even sometimes, I remember he'd draw Rome, even the number of windows or whatever is exactly the same in the real one. So our capacity is amazing. Eh? So I think I want to stop today because we're already at 55. I knew I would not be able to cover everything, but we did cover learning, mindset, speed reading, juggling, and also not so much memory. So I hope you benefit from it. But at least you have the slides, you get some ideas on how to move forward. Not everything is believable, but people are doing it, so it's no harm in actually trying to figure out what are they actually doing. And I find it very fascinating. So I'm still in initial stage. And I think as I go on, I will learn more, and I'll have more to share. So any questions? Information overload, overwhelmed? Overload, yes, that one is expected. It's good, speed load. So your stomach is empty, memorize on an empty stomach. So eat on an empty stomach also. So no questions? No questions? Okay, I think everybody's done. That's 12 o'clock. So thank you very much. Thank you for being patient. And all the best in your journey to become smarter.
Thank you, Zaid. Okay.